Hello everyone, how are we doing today? I hope you all in the land of America had a nice Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone else had a lovely Thursday. It was a pretty stunning Thursday, I might say. It was pretty delicious. Anyway, I've got a match here against someone, Mangokiller. Mangokiller. I like that name for some reason. Sometimes there are people who I play, their name just jives with me, and I get it. It just connects. And this guy was one of them. So I think I took this at Chase's stream or Eric's, one of the streams. I was at a stream and I was taking matches there because that's what I do because I do that and that's how things work. But using the same team because I like it and it's fun and cool and stuff. And we're gonna get into it without pissing around. So start the match, start the match, start the match. Tornadoes, tornadoes, tornadoes. Rotom, rotom, rotom. How many times can I say three things? Multiple apparently. But he's going to U-turn out, and I thought that there was no point in Volt switching because the Ferrothorn switch was kind of obvious. If not that, then like Jirachi or something to take it. So I go for the Will-O-Wisp, hoping to burn the Ferrothorn as it comes in, and instead it misses because I don't know what my luck is with Will-O-Wisp and Rotom the last few days, but it's just not been good at all. It just hasn't been hitting the mark. I end up Volt switching out because I can't really touch the Ferrothorn apart from Will-O-Wisping again. I don't think it's really worth it staying in for the potential of him setting up rocks or anything like that. He instead goes for the Leech Seed as I switch to Latias, and now I can easily threaten him out with a Hidden Power Fire, but that's kind of obvious, and I don't want that to happen. Either he's going to protect to get more Leech Seed and to scout me, or he's going to just flat switch to Politoed to get up the rain and to resist the hit. So in order to combat that, I not only take my Latias out to get rid of the Leech Seed, but also bring in Rotom as a threat to the Politoed that is obviously going to be coming in, and it does. So, works out nicely, because I can go for the Volt Switch here, but knowing better than that, I'm going to try and Hydro Pump instead, thinking he's going to switch to try and take the Volt Switch with like his Jirachi or something. I'd prefer to get a rain-boosted Hydro Pump off instead, and it doesn't really work out, because it hits the Politoed because he decides to stay in and Toxic me. So, it kind of sucks, but I guess it was a nice play on his part. He probably even thought that he could take a Volt Switch anyway and was wanting to Toxic something on my team. Just turned out that I overpredicted and didn't really work out because now Rotom is in fact poisoned. But this turn, I kind of think he's going to go out to Ferrothorn, just predicting the Hydro Pump again to take it a little bit better than perhaps Politoed could. But instead, he decides to Protect, and he is obviously a Toxic Protect stalling Politoed here. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating to deal with. But I guess it's easier for me to shut down than other Politoed builds, just because I don't know, I don't feel like it threatens much. It just kind of sits there and takes hits. So as long as you hit it hard enough, it's going to die eventually, right? My logic. So I'm going to Volt Switch on this turn, knowing that he's not going to Protect again because he's probably going to fail, and there's nothing else he can really do to me apart from Scald, and so he's probably going to go into something like this Ferrothorn, which is exactly what ends up happening. I get a really nice opportunity here, not only to get rid of the rain and set up sand for myself, but also to directly threaten the Ferrothorn out. I was thinking that maybe he'd want to switch, but I was like, okay, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to predict at this point. I just want to kill the Ferrothorn if I can. And because I'm running a Choice Bandage set, Superpower is going to clean that thing out. Absolutely just destroy it and demolish it. I felt pretty safe going for Superpower because even if he'd gone to Star Me to resist the hit or even to Tornadoes, neither of them really would have liked taking it. So kind of works. So he goes into Tornadoes now, and either he's going to U-turn on me or he's going to go for the fighting move, be that Focus Blast or Superpower. In all three scenarios, I can go to Landorus and take them really nicely, and he ends up going for the Superpower, which is just delicious, because not only is his attack and defense load and everything, but now I get more lefties. He is just not able to do anything to me. There is sand up, so Hurricane isn't probably going to hit. Unless he's running Hidden Power Ice, there really is no reason for him to stay in whatsoever. So I'm going to take the opportunity here to go for the Stealth Rocks as he U-turns out, and clearly going to do nothing because I've intimidated him, of course. He was actually at -2 attack there because of the Superpower and the Intimidate, so pathetic amount of damage with the U-turn. I don't know, this Landorus has been taking lots of U-turns the last few matches and just does nothing to it because it's bulky as hell and it's awesome. So get up rocks as he switches to Politoed, which getting the weather war going again, sand and rain, and it's ongoing conflict. But hey, that's what OU does, is lots of people use weather and there's nothing you can really do about it. So I'm going to try and get a bit of a chunk of damage in here. I know I can't kill him with standard Earthquake or anything for that matter. He's a very bulky set he's running being a defensive toad. So I'm going to U-turn just to get a little bit of damage and then go straight into Rotom, knowing I can take the Scald and potentially Volt Switch out on this Politoed, but instead of doing that, I think he's going to protect just because he's got me in here and he can scout what move or what I'm thinking by going for the protect and also racking up toxic damage. So instead of staying in for the predicted protect, I'm going to flat switch straight into Tyranitar because even if he doesn't protect and go for the Scald, I won't take that much damage from it because I'm getting the sand up and hopefully won't get burned. But I was pretty sure he's going to protect. Instead, he doesn't. He just plain out switches and goes into his Jirachi, which I guess works because Jirachi can handle any of Rotom's moves pretty well, just because it's very defensive and bulky and stuff. So that's what happens. I feel like not a good idea to stay in because there's potential of him being an Iron Headset and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go into Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn, Fortress, man. Much better. The original, Spiker, as it were. And he's gonna go for the Thunder. I at this point thinking, yes, he's probably going to be a rain-based one, maybe with Water Pulse and Thunder, maybe even with Iron Head and Thunder, a mix set has a potential for it to be. So I'm an Earthquake, and lovely fact that Joey gave this thing Earthquake because it can deal with things like Jirachi, which is just really nice. I like that it's able to break subs and do things like that. It just really helps Fortress out. Funny thing is, my original Nutcase, the original Fortress I used in Diamond and Pearl, actually carried Earthquake as well, so it made sense for me to nickname it that again. So the switch to Tornadus is just like fucking slap me in the face obvious. Like if you came up to me with a wet kipper and started slapping me around, I would notice pretty quickly that that's what you were doing. Not quite sure that's my point, but it was obvious as fuck. I went for the Volt Switch, crit him, which in all honesty isn't going to make a huge amount of difference. I am able to threaten him with the Staraptor here, and I don't know if, you know, in the long run, the damage would have added up and whatever. I'm not really into meta discussions and theory modding after games all that often, and unless something pisses me off and I want to. But in that case, I didn't feel like it was really necessary to do so. So going to Staraptor, and I know that he's not gonna stay in, gonna. So I U-turn out as he brings in Jirachi, and then I go straight to T-Tar, thinking that I can take any hit from this Jirachi, having seen Thunder and Substitute, and thinking, you know, unless he's carrying a mixed one with Iron Head, I should be good to go. So go for the Choice Banded Crunch and clean out a heavy amount of HP. I do take a Flash Cannon, which I don't see very often on Jirachi. It's not something that I'm too I'm too used to seeing. I'm too used to seeing, as it were. So I'm now going to switch to Rotom because I don't want to be locked in on Crunch and stay in there because he may be able to do something nasty and horrible to me after Jirachi dies. So I go to Rotom, and I'm still kind of unsure as to whether a Volt Switch will kill it, just because it seems more specially defensive, and I don't know, I just thought I might as well fire off a Hydro Pump instead. Hopefully they'll be able to take the thing out, and we'll go from there. But goes for the Thunder, actually ends up doing hardly anything because the lack of stab, the fact that he's probably more defensively invested, and the fact that my Rotom is pretty much close to special max special defense. This is a day and a half messing up words, but I guess it happens often because I usually talk quickly and words will tend to trip over themselves in scenarios such as that. But hey, goes into Starmie, and I really don't care about Rotom. I'm going to leave it to die. Goes to the Hydro Pump. Would have killed me, but let's be honest here. The fact that he missed that Hydro Pump wasn't really too crucial because, you know, I get the Volt Switch off, sure, but fact of the matter is I still have Scarf Staraptor. And as I bring Scarf Staraptor in here, I see that thanks to the Sandstorm going on, that I am faster and that he is not running a Scarf Starmie set. So pretty much indicates that I can just take him out with a U-turn regardless. If Rotom had died, I would have gone into Starmie and threatened him out with either the Double Edge or the Brave Bird, both of which would have taken him out, and he probably wouldn't have wanted to switch to anything else either. So I don't think that Hydro Pump was a big deal, but I don't know, you can argue both ways, I guess, because you never really know what could have happened. Strange things happen in Pokemon all the time, and it's a crazy world that we live in, or some bullshit like that. Anyway, at this point, Rotom should have died already, so I decided to fodder it right now. Also, the nice thing about this is that he goes into Tornadus in the nothing thing Tornadus can do, the only thing it can do is U-turn. Because if he Hurricanes, he's probably going to miss because he hasn't got Rain up right now. If he goes for the Heat Wave, it's probably not carrying Heat Wave because it's in a Rain team. If he goes for the Superpower, his attack and defense are dropped and he's left vulnerable. U-turn just seemed the better play there. And the nice thing about it, obviously, is because he's going to take Life Orb Recall, and he's going to have to switch out again, meaning more Stealth Rock damage racking up. Even though Regenerator's going on, it's just nice. So, goes into the Mamoswine, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not quite sure what type of Mamoswine this is, so just to make sure that it isn't a threat, I'm going to go into Landorus to intimidate it, get that attack drop, and then go straight into Fortress to take whatever hit he so plans to go for, be it the Ice Shard or the Icicle Crash, and both of which I can take beautifully. As you can see, Icicle Crash does practically nothing to me. So, knowing that he's not going to want to stay in with the Mamoswine against my Fortress, it just looks like he's a choice Mamo, probably Scarfed. It kind of looks like that, just from the damage that I took and everything. It seems like he's a Scarf one, which seems a bit novel, but you know, considering Mamoswine gets Ice Shard and can usually use that for priority, but I don't know, it's interesting. I Volt Switch out into Latias, which I know I can't kill the Politoed with, but I'm going to damn well try. I'm going to go for the Psyshock and do as much damage as I can. He unfortunately gets the Toxicoff, which at this point in the match isn't a huge deal because I believe he only has Politoed, Tornadus, and maybe one more thing left. I can't quite remember, but Protect is obvious as another Kipper slapping me, this time on the back of the head, and I'm going to recover on that turn that he's obviously going to Protect. Might as well, because all three of my other moves are offensive, and I would just waste a turn otherwise, so I might as well get my health back up to full, and now I can just fire off the Draco Meteor, borrowing another Protect. It's dead. It's a dead Politoed. So there we go. Managed to finish the thing off, and though Latias is not at a particularly in a particularly good way right now, minus special defense attack, sorry, lowered special attack, I'm poisoned, I'm not at a great amount of health. I don't really know why I saved it, honestly. It didn't make much sense to do so, and he's not going to U-turn with Tornadus. Like, it didn't... At this point in the match, he has Rain, and Hurricane is just good to go for him, so I don't know why I switched. I should have just stayed in and been safe, because this could have turned out pretty critically, because I kind of want to keep Landorus around, even though Mamoswine threatens it with the Ice Attack. I want it for Intimidate. I want it to intimidate the Mamoswine so the Fortress can deal with it. So, that was kind of stupid. I lose a lot of HP from the Hurricane, but knowing that Tyranitar can easily take this thing on once the sand is set up, there's the potential for him to miss Hurricane. Obviously, Life Orb's going to take damage on him, and also the Sandstorm's going to be up, so Sand is going to knock him out after this turn, which pretty much plays right into my favor, because at this point, I believe all he has left is the Mamoswine. If he's choiced, he's going to have to lock himself into a move, and I should be able to play around it. He knows that he can't Earthquake if he's a Scarf variant, because then Landorus just completely, kills him because he can't actually touch it. But I'm going to go into Landorus at this point, go for the Intimidate, and then switch out Flat Switch, because I'm still afraid of him being Scarfed, and go into Shuckle? No, not Shuckle, into Fortress to take the hit, and he ends up Earthquaking, so I'm like, oh, okay, he wasn't choiced all along. He must be like Expert Belt or something, because there's no Life Orb. So I guess that's kind of interesting. Turns out that well, yes, he isn't choiced in any way, and I probably could have dealt with him in other fashions, but Fortress is easily able to deal with him. The critical hit on the Earthquake there really just speeds the process along. Not much of a big deal here. If anything else had happened, if he did have Ice Shard, I had no problem dealing with it, because obviously Landorus has Intimidate. I could have intimidated him once more, and after that, Staraptor would have been able to live an Ice Shard and take him out with a close combat. So, that is pretty much my game plan if that had gone wrong, but it didn't. It all went fine and dandly. Fori was able to finish off the game, and yeah, it was a long one. Jeez, I didn't even realize that this was like a 14-minute game, 13-minute close to. But this is now almost 14 minutes of me rambling over at the end of the match. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I hope it was to your satisfaction and pleased you greatly. I hope you're getting some good deals this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Get buying shit, because there's lots of good stuff on sale. And yeah. So, as always, feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.